If you guys think about it, most traders don't lose a prop firm challenge on the very first trade. They lose it before the first trade because they start the challenge already in a rush. So I'm starting a prop firm challenge from scratch, and I'm going to be documenting the entire process through a series. I'm going to show you the trades I take, the weighting, the rules, the mistakes, and the decisions behind every single trade. But I want to make one thing very clear from the beginning. I'm not trying to pass this fast, and I know that sounds strange because when you pay for a challenge and you see your targets, you see the drawdown rules, your brain naturally asks you this: how quickly can I pass this? But that question can change how you trade. It can make you force setups, risk too much, chase moves that are already gone, and slowly turn a trading challenge into a gambling problem. So before I place the first trade, I want to show you the part most traders skip. I'm going to show you my risk plan. I'm going to show you the trades I'm actually allowed to take, what would make me stop trading, what I would do if nothing sets up, and I'm going to review this challenge without only showing wins or payouts. I don't know how this challenge is going to play out, if I'm being honest, but that's exactly why I want to document it properly, because the real test is not whether I can get excited and take trades. The real test is whether I can actually stay disciplined when there's a pressure to rush and finish the challenge, pressure to make money. So before I show you the rules, we need to talk about why I'm actually going to take my pace so seriously. Because speed sounds harmless, but inside a prop firm challenge, speed doesn't just change the timeline, it starts moving your standard before you even notice it. And honestly, that's the part I'm trying to protect myself from as well, because this is where a lot of traders get caught. Sometimes the strategy is there, your rules are there, but the moment the account has a target attached to it, you can start judging the same chart differently. You're not always trying to break your rules. That's the thing. Sometimes you're just trying to feel like the challenge is moving. That's when a setup you would normally ignore starts looking tradable. A move you already missed starts feeling like something you need to chase. A small loss starts feeling bigger than it actually is. And even when there's no trade, you feel like you're falling behind. That's when a chart stops being just a chart and it starts to become a scoreboard. And that's what I'm trying to avoid with this challenge. I don't want the target to turn me into someone who just forces trades. I don't want one loss to put me in recovery mode. That's silly. I don't want one missed setup to make me chase the next average one. But if the challenge makes me trade worse, then even passing it would just teach me the wrong lesson. So for me, the first question is not how fast can I pass this challenge? The real question is, can I follow the same process when the account is under pressure? That's why I'm not trying to pass fast. I'm trying to make sure the challenge does not turn me into a worse trader. So if speed can change my behavior, then the next step is simple. I need to make sure the important decisions before the account starts putting me under pressure. Because if I leave those decisions open, I'll probably make them later when I'm more emotional. And that is why before the first trade, I need a few things already decided. How much am I risking? What actually counts as a valid setup? What makes me stop trading? What do I do if nothing sets up in the market? And how am I going to review the decisions afterwards? Because these are not questions I want to answer while I'm annoyed, while I'm excited, or trying to recover. This is where a lot of challenge start going wrong. Not because the trader has no idea what they're actually doing. It's because the plan has gaps in it. Then a loss happens, or a setup gets missed, or price starts moving without you, and suddenly you're negotiating with yourself in real time. That's what I want to avoid here as I'm taking this challenge. I don't want to be sitting there after a loss, deciding in the moment whether I should risk more. I don't want to watch price move without me and then convince myself that an average setup is somewhat good enough. I want the rules in place before the pressure arrives. That's how to take a challenge. So that's the standard for this challenge. Rules before pressure. And the first rule I need to lock in is the one that decides whether this stays controlled or starts getting emotional off the bat. And that is the risk. The first thing I'm locking in is the risk. Because with a prop firm challenge, the account size can mess with your head. You see that big number on the dashboard, but that is not the number that really matters the most. the number that really matters is the drawdown. Because if the account says 50k or 100k, that does not mean that you have that full amount to play with. What you really have is the limited amount of room to be wrong. And if you treat the headline balance like money you can freely risk, you can damage your account quickly. Sometimes it does not take 10 or bad 10. It doesn't take 10 bad trades. Sometimes just 2 or 3 emotional ones are pretty much enough. So for this challenge, I want the risk to be something I can actually survive emotionally, not just mathematically. The exact rules are on the screen, but the principles are simple. I'm setting the risk before I trade. I'm actually setting how many trades I'm allowed to take. I'm setting the point where I stop before I'm actually starting to get annoyed, before I'm starting to get excited, before I'm trying to recover. Because if the risk is too heavy, I know what can actually happen. One loss will start to feel personal. You will start watching every candle differently. You start managing from fear instead of from the plan. And once that happens, the problem is not just the loss anymore. The problem is who you become after the loss. So the risk has to be boring enough that one trade does not control me. That is the standard I'm going to set for myself, because the risk plan is not only there to protect the account, it is there to protect my behavior. And once the risk is clear, the next boundary is just as important. What am I actually allowed to call a setup? Because this is where discipline can start slipping quietly, not from one completely random trade, but from something that looks just close enough. And close enough is dangerous in a challenge, because when you want the accounts to move forward, your standards can start shifting. A setup you would normally leave alone starts looking acceptable. A late entry starts feeling like it still has potential, and a trade you missed starts turning into a trade you want to chase. That is how emotion starts sounding like analysis. So for this challenge, I want the setup criteria to stay simple. I want everything to stay simple throughout. I need the higher time frame to give me direction. I need the lower time frame to give me confirmation for that direction. I need a clean entry area. I need the stop to make sense before I enter. I need the target to be clear. And if I miss the trade, I miss the trade. I'm not chasing it just because I want the challenge to move faster. So if the setup is messy, I leave it. If the entry is late, I leave it. If I'm only interested because I'm bored, I leave it. And if I'm only interested because I'm trying to recover from a loss, I'm definitely leaving that one, because I'm not here to take every single move in the market. I'm here to take trades that fit my plan. That means there'll be days where the market moves and I do nothing. And that has to be okay, because having played rules also means accepting the part nobody likes. Sometimes there are no trades. And in the Profam challenge, that can feel strange, because the account has a target. You pay for the challenge, and you want to feel like you're actually making progress. So even when the setup is not there, your mind can still start looking for a reason to enter. That is where a bad trade can start feeling productive. So I need rules for waiting, not just rules for entering. If there is no setup, there is no setup, there is no trade. If I miss the move, I'm not chasing it. If I'm bored, that is not a signal. Just take trades. If I've taken a loss, I do not get to just manufacture a new opportunity just because I want to feel better. On those days, the job is just simple. Just review, journal, wait, and protect your account. It's simple. Because sometimes discipline looks like action, but sometimes discipline looks like leaving the account alone as well. And for this challenge, I need to respect both. The trades I take matter, but the trades I refuse to take might matter even more. And that is why I do not only want to document just the trades. I want to document the decisions around the trades, because most people only show the results, the win, the payout, the past challenge, the screenshot that makes everything look clean. But if this series is going to be useful, I need to show you a lot more than that. I want to show you the trades I actually take, the trades I skip, the rules I follow, the rules I almost break, and the review afterwards, because that is where the real learning is. Not just whether the trade won or lost, but whether the decision was clean. I'm not just trying to show you that I'm making money. I need you to actually learn from this. And I think that matters because it is easy to look disciplined after the result. It is harder to show the process while it is still uncertain. And I do not know if this challenge will be smooth, if I'm being completely honest. I do not know if it will be messy. But I do know I don't want to hide the parts that makes trading difficult. So this is not going to be watch me pass fast series. It's going to be a process series, and that brings me back to the real goal of this challenge. Because yes, passing matters, but passing is not the whole point. So yes, of course I want to pass the challenge. I'm not pretending the result does not matter. Getting funded matters, the payout matters, the opportunity matters. But if I only care about passing, I can easily start trading in a way that destroys the whole point. Because a lucky pass can make the bad habit look smart. A fast pass can make poor risk look brave. And one good week can easily convince you that you're disciplined, when really the market just has not punished you yet. That is the part I do not want to ignore. So my standard for this challenge is not just did I pass, it is much more like, did I follow my rules? Did I manage the risk properly? Did I wait when there was nothing to trade? Did I stay the same trader when the account was under pressure? That is actually what I want to find out. Because passing a challenge is good, but building a process that can actually survive more than just one challenge, that is the real goal. And that is what I'm going to document from here. So if you want to follow this challenge from the beginning, not just the final screenshot, but the actual process, the trades involved, the waiting, the risk decisions, the mistakes I'm going to make, and the reviews, this is where it starts. And if you're trying to become a trader who can stay disciplined under pressure, not just pass one challenge by luck, then this channel is for you. In the next video, I will show you the first stages of the first trade, not just the entry, but the thinking behind every decision I make. So subscribe if you want to follow the process properly, and I'll see you in the next one.